Every year, stories of shark attacks make people more scared of the ocean. Just thinking about a shark can be terrifying, but some attacks are even worse than we can imagine. In this video, we're going to talk about 2 shocking stories of brutal shark attacks. David Weir was an experienced Australian diver with a profound love for the ocean. He has had a strong desire to dive in Australian waters since he was a teenager. His passion for the ocean began at a young age, when he explored the underwater world with fascination and respect. David developed his skills over time, eventually earning a professional diving license that he held for more than 10 years. His extensive experience earned him a high level of respect among his fellow divers. David was married with 2 children, ages 13 and 3, who shared his love of the sea. David's career path had an unbreakable relationship with the ocean. He had worked as a deckhand on a crayfish boat, spending countless hours navigating the waters he loved. He recently got a job as a professional diver, focusing on catching abalone. These large sea snails cling to rocks and reefs in warm coastal areas, making them a desirable catch during the abalone season, which lasts from November to April. David frequently ventured off Australia's west coast in search of these creatures, which benefited the local seafood industry. Australia is famous for its breathtaking diving destinations, attracting visitors from all over the world to its crystal-clear waters and vibrant marine ecosystems. From the Great Barrier Reef to the rocky shores of the southern coastline, the country provides some of the best diving experiences in the world. However, these waters are home to a variety of shark species, including the fearsome great white shark. These apex predators, with their powerful jaws and razor-sharp teeth, strike fear into the hearts of even the most experienced surfers. The great white shark, in particular, is known for its size, strength, and predatory instincts, making it one of the most dangerous species in the ocean. On the day of the tragic incident, David and his friends planned a dive at Honeymoon Island, a small granite outcrop 40 kilometers east of Hopetown. Seals and sea lions frequent the island, basking in the sun before diving into the water to hunt for fish. The surrounding waters were alive with marine life, particularly during the right whale calving season. Great white sharks were drawn to the abundance of prey and the scent of blood from the whale afterbirths and vulnerable calves. Despite the risks, including a recent encounter only days before with a massive 5-meter great white shark, who chased him and his friends out of the water, David decided to go ahead with the dive. He was fully aware of the dangers, but he was motivated by his love of diving and dedication to his job. David and his friend Dave Lashman prepared their boat and motored about a kilometer from shore. As they approached Honeymoon Island, David put on his diving gear. David practiced hookah diving, which involves breathing through a line connected to the surface rather than using bulky oxygen tanks. As he vanished beneath the choppy waves, Dave remained on the boat, keeping a close eye. Dave noticed a massive shark's tail fin thrash out of the water, followed by its dorsal fin cutting through the surface. Only moments after David submerged, the shark attacked with terrifying speed and force. The water made violently, turning bloody. Dave, horrified, frantically pulled on the hookah rig's air hose, but it was slack and provided no resistance. He retrieved a shredded harness and an emergency oxygen bottle, both marked with shark's teeth. David's body resurfaced briefly, with severe injuries from the attack. Despite Dave's desperate attempts to save his friend, his body sank back to the depths. In shock and devastation, Dave drove back to shore and reported the incident to Hopetown officials. Following the traumatic event, Dave was hospitalized and treated for shock, highlighting the emotional toll of witnessing such a terrifying ordeal. The attack sent shockwaves through the local community and beyond, prompting environmentalists to call for stronger protections for great white sharks. The Australian Seafood Industry Council quickly responded by announcing the adoption of the Southern Australian Fisheries Department's recommendation to protect the species. This move echoed existing protections in the United States and South Africa. Brian Jeffries, the chairman of the council, emphasized the urgency of the situation, noting that while population of great white sharks remained unknown, there was mounting evidence suggesting a decline in their numbers. This concern underscored the need for proactive measures to ensure the conservation of these apex predators, vital to maintaining the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. Every person who knew David was deeply affected by the tragic event. He was remembered not only for his diving abilities and commitment to his job, but also for his love of the ocean and his family. Louis Archer Boren was a 24-year-old surfer who had a deep love for the ocean. Despite the cloudy weather that deterred many from the coastlines, Louis, as an enthusiast and surfer, saw opportunity in the storm swell caused by the cold and windy weather. He woke up early on a Saturday morning, eager to surf the waves at South Moss Beach with a friend, anticipating just another typical day of adventure. As Louis prepared for his day of surfing, the aroma of the ocean filled the air, assuring him of another fantastic session on the waves. However, beneath the surface of the seemingly inviting waters lay unseen dangers. Since 1899, California had witnessed 6 fatal shark attacks, with most attributed to great white sharks. South Moss Beach, with its dramatic cliffs and panoramic views, provided an ideal setting for surfers to pit their skills against nature's forces. The waves, powered by the endless energy of the open ocean, rose and fell with a mesmerizing rhythm, beckoning surfers to paddle out and ride their crest with reckless abandon. For Louis and his friend, South Moss Beach had a special allure, a place where they could escape the confines of daily life and immerse themselves in the raw beauty and power of the sea. As they paddled out into the open waters, their hearts raced with excitement and anticipation, eager to conquer the waves that crashed against the rocky shoreline. Accompanied by his friend, Louis headed to South Moss Beach, where the waves soared up to 15 feet tall due to strong winds. Despite the daunting conditions, both Louis and his friend, who were experienced surfers, felt sure of themselves as they ventured into the chilly waters. They eagerly awaited the perfect moment to ride a wave, chatting about various topics as they looked forward to the thrilling experience ahead. When the winds cooperated, Louis and his friend lay on their stomachs, toes pointing toward the surfboard's tail and heads parallel to the stringer. They paddled slowly at first, then quickly, sighting the approaching waves on their horizon. As nearly perfect timing and preparation for the thrilling moment, the 2 young men placed their hands beneath their shoulders as the wave greeted the 2 surfers. They pushed back against men in their 20s, who frequently discussed topics like life and family, among others. Louis and his friends bid each other farewell around 2 p.m., unaware that it would mark their final goodbye. As Louis headed back towards his car, a sudden urge stirred within him. Standing beside his vehicle in a daze, he couldn't bear to let the opportunity to catch a few more waves slip away. Entranced by the serene yet powerful presence of the ocean, he made a spontaneous decision to indulge in one last surf session before calling it a day. Returning to the beach, Louis felt a sense of solitude envelop him. Despite being alone, he was undeterred, knowing that such perfect storm swells were a rare occurrence not to be missed. With determination, he suited up in his wetsuit and embarked on his final venture into the open waters. Louis's thoughts were accompanied by the steady churn of the ocean as he paddled farther out from the coast. However, his peace was shattered when a shadowy figure appeared beneath him. Louis felt a sense of foreboding when he realized he wasn't alone in the water. While paddling out into the water, Louis came across what could have been the largest great white shark ever seen. In a terrifying turn of events, the shark's massive force knocked Louis off his surfboard. Despite his efforts to defend himself, Louis was unable to escape the predator's grasp, and he vanished while out surfing. The following day, his surfboard washed up on shore, bearing a massive semicircular bite mark. At 11 a.m. on December 24th, Boren's body was spotted by a park ranger near Pacific Grove, about 0.6 of a mile north of the attack site. Boren, who had been wearing a dark wetsuit, was believed to have been lying on his yellow surfboard in 10 feet of water, just beyond the break point, when a great white shark struck him from the left side, biting through both Boren and his board. Water conditions were rough, with average temperatures for that time of year, with gray skies and deteriorating visibility. Upon closer examination, shark expert Ralph Collier determined that the culprit behind the attack was likely a massive white shark, possibly reaching lengths of up to 23 feet. It's a chilling thought considering that such a creature could have easily consumed Boren whole. However, despite the severity of the single bite, there was no evidence to suggest that the shark had attempted any further attacks. Only a few years later, after Lewis's tragic encounter, another terrifying shark attack shook the coastal community. Craig Rogers was surfing at Tunitas Beach, California in August 1987 when he encountered danger. A massive 17-foot white shark grabbed his surfboard unexpectedly, its razor-sharp lateral teeth scraping across the board surface, leaving a minor cut on Rogers' little finger. Surprisingly, despite the inherent instability of surfboards, the shark held Rogers' board with such care that it barely caused a ripple in the water. Rogers remained sitting on his board, unaware of the predator lurking beneath him, until a sudden halt in movement revealed the presence of the colossal creature. Turning around, he saw the shark's formidable 2.5-foot wide head firmly clasping his board between its teeth. 2 teeth were embedded in the board, confirming the species and size of the shark that caused the encounter. Also in 1994, far from the shores of Chile, Heather Boswell faced a terrifying encounter with a 12-foot white shark while swimming in the open ocean, some 300 miles away from the coast. Initially, Boswell was gently nibbled and released by the shark, only to have it return and viciously bite her left leg, severing it above the knee before she could be rescued from the water. Despite the shark's ability to inflict severe harm and potentially consume her entirely, Boswell miraculously escaped with her life, albeit with a grievous injury. The fact that the shark showed restraint and did not inflict further harm suggests that Boswell's ordeal could have been far more tragic. According to a 1996 paper by George Burgess and Matthew Callahan reviewing worldwide patterns of white shark attacks, of 157 cases, only 41, 26% were fatal. Although in some cases the victim's body is never recovered, the available data strongly suggest that very, very few of them were actually consumed by their attacker. Despite the heartbreaking loss, Lewis's story serves as a clear signal of the risk associated with surfing and the ever-changing nature of the sea. As surfers continue to pursue their passion for the sport, they must remain vigilant and aware of the potential risk lurking beneath the ocean surface. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more shocking animal attacks, simply click on the next video. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button for more terrifying stories. Until next time, stay safe